Hey Sage fam, my name is Morgan Garza. I am the CMO of Sage and a regular teacher and also an author of this book that you see here, Soul Magic. And this is the first of a new series that we are going to be doing on your cosmic energy report for the week, as well as a tapping to help you really feel into the energies that are happening in and around you for this next week. So this is the week of January 16th. The full moon in Cancer is happening today, the 17th, and this is the first full moon of 2022. So this is a banger, and it's in the sign of Cancer. So not only is this first full moon going to pack a different kind of punch than the others in the rest of the year, but Cancer is also at home in the moon. The moon is at home in the sign of Cancer. So each zodiac sign has a ruling planet, in this case, a luminary, the moon. And when this sign is in this planet, there is a harmonious happening that is going on. The energy may be light, it may be heavier, but it is really actualized into everything that is happening with the energy of the moon, and in this case, the energy of the zodiac sign of Cancer. So with this moon and being the first of the year, things might still feel a little heavy from 2021. You might not be totally cleared out of anything that happened in the last of the year, the last couple years. That's totally fine. Don't feel like you have to feel like a totally new person at the beginning of the year. The Gregorian calendar has no alignment with astrology. And so when January hits and everyone is going out there and getting ready to, slay the year, set intentions, set resolutions, and do all of these things, it can feel a little off kilter because we just celebrated the beginning of winter in the northern hemisphere at least. So with this dead of winter vibe happening, it can feel very jarring to feel like you have to reinvent your life and start everything new and really burst into this new year in this vibe of freshness. So that this Cancer moon is really amplifying that, has a heaviness to it that we don't normally like to feel. We avoid feeling a lot of things, and this is maybe one of them. So full moons are a time of release. So at this release, which with release of the energy of water is beautiful, water, Cancer is a water sign. So this is helping us cleanse so much more than we could normally. So with this release, what are you ready to let go of? And this is a beautiful time to just squeeze everything out, use the energy of water. We also had an incredible event happen in nature. The volcano at the island of Tonga erupted, and is creating literal tsunami waves around the west coast and around the eastern part of the world. So this water is flowing. There is a big buildup of energy happening, and this release coinciding with the Cancer full moon is huge. So with this energy, just ask yourself what you're ready to let go of. What are you done with? What has run its course? What is really pulling you down and not energizing you anymore? And this can really help you realize that you're ready and it is okay to let go. Letting go can be really scary. It can be something that we try to avoid as much as possible. Energetic hoarding is something that I have experienced personally and something that maybe you have experienced as well. But each full moon is a time to let go and a time to exhale everything out of you. The stale energy, the stale air, anything in your life that is not working. So this is impacting your inner and outer world. So if you're feeling oppressive energy, if you're feeling really heavy, you're tired, you can't sleep, that's totally normal and that's okay. So rather than judge yourself for it, just ask yourself, where is this coming from? How can I help this continue to release from my body, from my energy field, from my life, inner and outer worlds? And what can you bring in as support? Whenever we release, we don't want to rush to fill that space. So the time between the full moon and the new moon, we continue to wring everything out as things surface with that new space that we've created. We analyze and say, okay, do I need this? Do I want to get rid of it? Is it time to let go? And this is exactly what's happening now. So this is the culmination of the release, and then it's going to trickle until we have enough space and enough energy and enough insight to replant those seeds and to fill that energy consciously at the new moon when we take an inhale. So this is the vibe this week. It might be a little heavy. It might be a challenging. It might be just something that makes you feel uncomfortable, but trust that this is all happening for you. And we also have a lightness that's happening in the middle of the week as we move from Capricorn to Cancer, or to Aquarius, I'm sorry. Capricorn is an earth sign, Aquarius is an air sign, and we're also winding down on the zodiac calendar, ending with Pisces. So this is the last of it. These are the most mature signs that we have in their elements. They are the fullest expression of the elements. So moving from Capricorn to Aquarius might help us combat or work better with the energy from this Cancer full moon that can feel very heavy. So when the sun is in Aquarius, Aquarius is the one that encourages to fly our freak flag high, to go out and advocate for something, to carve a new path, to say no to something that isn't working, to really have a pulse on the collective consciousness and to see what is happening around us so that we can make conscious change. Aquarius does not mess around. It does not care what other people think. And this is a beautiful energy to move into after a potentially heavy Cancer full moon. So ask yourself where you can play more, where you can be more spontaneous, where you can advocate for something that you truly believe in, find a cause, start a group, make a meetup, get together with friends and just share ideas. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy to be moving into, especially at the beginning of the year. In addition to us moving into Aquarius this week, we are also in the beginning of Mercury Retrograde, which started last week. So as much fear mongering as there is on the internet and everything that you can find on Instagram and the memes and everything, while they may be funny, they could be adding to a collective fear of this most common transit that happens 2 to 3 times a year. So Mercury is the planet of the mind, of learning, of communication, of travel, of technology, which is sometimes why people freak out because things really can go awry. But there's a lot that you can do to support yourself, to get grounded, to know that this is coming and to move into a space that makes you feel grounded and powerful. So this week, with the Cancer full moon, with us moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, in the midst of Mercury retrograde, Venus is also retrograde, which is doing a whole dance with Pluto. I'm not an astrologer, you can Google that. But the energy can be a little bit heavy right now, but we have these bursts and breezes of fresh air that are reminding us to stay grounded, to get centered, to not be taken away by the whims of the astrology that's happening or things that are happening in our inner and outer worlds, and really come back to center. So this week's tapping is going to be on exactly that, getting grounded, being centered, and flowing with all of the winds of change of the literal waves that are happening in our world. If you're not familiar with EFT tapping, it stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's psychological acupressure. So we're going to be tapping on points along the upper body and saying affirmations aloud that remind us of our power and help us release physical and energetic tension. So it's a call and response. You just say what I say and tap where I tap. So let's get started. We start at the karate chop point where we tap out the perceived negative because negative is a perception. And then we'll move to the top of the head right at the crown, the middle of the eyebrows, the sides of the eyebrows, under the eyes, under the nose above the lip, under the lip above the chin, at the collarbones, under the arm, and then finally we'll end with the wrists. So let's get started. If you want to take 3 deep breaths with me to begin our practice of grounding in through the nose and out through the mouth. Two more just like that. And last one. Okay, we'll start at the karate chop point. Again, call and response. Just say what I say and tap where I tap. And keep your eyes open so you can see when we move to different points along the body. Sometimes I don't feel grounded at all. I can easily get swept away by the world, by my emotions and relationships. But I unconditionally love, accept, and forgive myself. I am open to being fluid, and I see where I've been rigid. I see how being rigid has kept me away from my magic. I know that I've been gripping too tightly to some things, and to others I've not held on at all. When I don't feel grounded, chaos ensues. And knowing this gives me power. I unconditionally love, accept, and forgive myself. Okay, palms up, take a deep breath. And let it go. And now we'll move to the top of the head. Being grounded gives me power. I pretend like 2 minutes of mindfulness will take all day. And what a silly thing to keep myself away from. My power. I want to live in peace. I want to cultivate this peace, consciously and collectively, by becoming aware of when I feel ungrounded. Because this awareness connects me to my power. And when I listen to what my body and mind are telling me, I am in flow with my inner and outer worlds. No matter what's happening in the cosmos, no matter what's happening in my home or work life, I can always come back to my center. I can always remind myself how powerful I truly am. And I can always start over. So I devote myself to being grounded this week, to doing things that help me slow down, to saying no more, and to saying yes to only things that light me up. When I stretch myself too thin, I lose my magic. But I know this, and so I'm going to stop it. And I'm going to take this week to get centered and to connect with my power. Because I am the person of my dreams, and I deserve that. And so it is, and so it shall be. Okay, palms up, take a deep breath, and let it go. This week, just stay grounded. Don't lose your cool. Don't think too much about what's going on around you. Concern yourself only with your heart. And I'll see you next week. Love, light, and black holes.